House Nate, and I'm sorry that it's been so long since I've put out the next chapter, but here it comes. I've been busy doing things and not feeling well, and irregardless, got a great story to tell you. This is so magnanimous, it's unbelievable. Let's go back to 1978. I'm working at Barton Hospital in South Lake Tahoe, California, and I'm privileged to work with the best orthopedic surgeons in the entire United States at the time. Okay, it's like Paul Fry and Dick Stedman and Randy Watson, and the thing still in existence is called Tahoe Fracture Clinic. And here's the story: we're working in the hospital, and we're taking care of Olympic ski team members. Okay, cool. This one young lady needs surgery. She destroys both of her legs, has surgery on both legs, and recovers. And she goes home for a weekend, comes back to the hospital, and infects the entire hospital with pediculosis pubis. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, that's called the crabs. And she unfortunately didn't tell anyone. Infected the entire hospital. I figured that'd be a good story to tell you because it's true. And it really happened. And my friend that worked in the emergency room got freaked out and his wife made him shave his beard. So I'm not mentioning any names other than the magnanimous doctors who I don't know if they're still alive or not, but God bless them all. They were excellent orthopedic surgeons. Excellent. Dr. Fry used to take a boot top fracture and align the tibia and fibula in the lower leg, and I'd cast it. Then he'd put the C-arm on it and take a look at it. It was perfect every time. So he incidentally got his experience in Vietnam, I believe, and he's about a man of my stature and has climbed every mountain on the planet, I believe, except Everest. And the last I heard, which was back in '78, he was either going to rule it in or rule it out. And I'm not sure if Dr. Fry ever did climb Mount Everest, but he climbed all the other mountains that there are to climb. And I don't think anybody climbs K2, which is supposedly higher than Everest. Anyway, I am well. My mother is well. She's 85, and she's doing better than I am. Unfortunately, her compression fracture's kicking up, so she's got a lot of lower back pain. So she's trying to kick it and do the best she can do at age 85. I'm still blessed to have her. But I figured I'd tell you a joke because when the young lady came back after the weekend passed, she's like, scratch yourself. And she asked one of the nurses, what's the problem? The problem was the day before the linen was changed, sent to the laundry. So that meant the entire hospital was contaminated. They had to bring in all new linen. Plus decontaminate the hospital at the same time. So it's a very costly thing for the hospital to endure. So any young ladies ever go out and get the crabs and then go into a hospital, please tell them right away because it's a lot of money to clean the place up afterwards. People with beards will lose their beards, and female nurses freak out because it's the crabs, and that's not a healthy thing, but sure beats syphilis and gonorrhea or AIDS. But anyway, that was a story I figured I'd tell you. That was in 1978 in South Lake Tahoe. I lived there. I had a roommate, Sylvia, and her son, Jason. And they're alive and well. Sylvia's in Arizona. Jason is still in South Lake Tahoe, married to Heather. They have 2 beautiful children, which I haven't seen before. I've got pictures of them, but I've never seen them in person. But I'm hoping someday God will bless me. I'll go back to the Blue Water Lake and see Jason and Heather and their baby girls, which won't be baby girls anymore because they'll be grown up. But anyway, that was a funny story about hospital stuff, because a lot of it's not funny. A lot of it's serious. A lot of it's people bleeding to death. A lot of it's like trauma, especially working in the emergency room. That's what happens when you work in an emergency room. You deal with trauma patients mostly, and the occasional pneumonia and colds, and flu symptoms in the winter. But where I lived, there were things called widowmakers. Widowmakers are specific to the logging industry, in which a logger cuts, or one of the choke setters lets go of a log, comes down and hits a logger and squashes his head into about a half-inch thickness. It's not a pleasant sight. It's called a widowmaker. That's one of the biggest killers in the logging industry, for those who care. But Weaverville had nothing but logging industry and the county as a source of employment. Other than that, there was nothing to do there except mine gold. And where I lived in Weaverville, it was the second largest gold mine in the entire state of California. So it was a beautiful place, and the Trinity River was just gorgeous, catching salmon, catching fresh steelhead that are ocean run trout, catching trout, big German brown trout. My friend Ben, I took him to my spot. I didn't catch anything. He caught two big ones like this. Nice. But anyway, I just wanted to come back and give you Chapter 9 and tell you I'm sorry it took so long to get another one out. You can see Let's Go Bucks, and tonight's the last game of the Penguins series. And if they kill them, then they'll go to the Stanley Cup. So I'm sure Philadelphia is going to lose tonight, and we'll see what happens. But, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose, and that'll be the end of it. But the Pittsburgh Penguins are hot this year. They haven't been hot since 15 years already. It's been. And Let's Go Bucks. I don't know if you can see this or not, but boy, I don't know about baseball. I'm not a baseball manager or enthusiast. I'm an enthusiast, but I'm not an expert on baseball. But they got to do something. I was happy when they got rid of the last manager. So they've got a new manager, and I'm just not sure about baseball. I played baseball in high school and in junior high school, so I like the sport. And I was around in 1960 when the Pirates won the World Series, and they played the New York Giants, New York Mets. They played New York. Anyway, that's going to happen again this June, and we have tickets for it. So that should be an honoring game, because they haven't played New York since 1960 in the World Series. So it's going to be like 48 years ago. And that's pretty psychedelic. So I'm going to keep Chapter 9 short. I'm sorry it's taken so long to record another chapter, but I want to try and keep things lighthearted and try and think of the funny things. And I've already just now thought of another funny thing I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to leave it for Chapter 10 because it's an embarrassing situation. It's called Falling in Cactus. And that's all I'll say. So I'm going to keep this chapter short. My love and peace and love to all of you. And this is just my life, man. This is what's happening. I'm going to be 59 October 11th, and I still feel like I'm 19 inside. Have a good one, people. I love you. God bless y'all. Bye-bye.